Our top story tonight, the House has passed a bill to repeal and replace Obamacare. The vote was tight, 217 for and 213 against.
Yes, in a shock move, the US House passed the American Health Care Act by a whisker. They were so desperate for votes, Jason Chaffetz flew in following foot surgery with his leg up on a jaunty scooter, zipping around like a corgi with hip dysplasia. The real shock, though, was how quickly all this went down. Changes were still being made to the bill this week, and the CBO, which estimates the cost and impacts of proposed laws, hadn't even had time to score the final version. And multiple members of Congress admitted they hadn't even read the whole thing.
Did you read this entire bill?
Yeah. I wouldn't say every, yes, I turned through every page. As to whether or not I got through some of the details in some of the pages, no. But yes, I attempted to read the entire bill.
Wait, you turned through every page? That's not how you read a bill, that's how you check a bill for spiders. Oh, I can't say whether this bill will cause millions to lose insurance, but it does have the Mark Sanford no spiders guarantee. Now, in fairness, as Congressman Chris Collins pointed out, it is not essential that representatives read every single word of a bill.
We rely on our staff and we rely on our committees, and I'm comfortable that I understand this bill in its entirety, Wolf, without pouring through every word. And I'm just being quite honest. That's the way it is.
Now, you know what? That is actually fair. What really matters is that politicians like Collins fully understand the contents of this bill. But when the Buffalo News asked him if he knew that it would cut funding for a program providing insurance to over 600,000 low and middle-income people in New York State, including over 19,000 people in 2 counties that he represents parts of, he indicated that he didn't and said, "Explain that to me." And, OK, I can explain that to you right now. This bill could cause many of your constituents to get thrown into an individual marketplace they cannot afford, and when they realise that, they are going to be furious with you. Essentially, you fucked up. In fact, here is the amount that you fucked up shown graphically. Here is you fucking up shown in a scatter plot, and here is a Precious Moments figurine explaining exactly what you just did. Have I explained this clearly enough? Maybe ask your staff to read what she's holding and tell you what it means. Now, we've talked multiple times on this show about everything that was bad with the previous version of this bill. A bill, incidentally, that was estimated to result in 24 million fewer Americans having insurance after 10 years. And the bill that passed this week had all of the things that were bad about the last one, with a particularly unpleasant addition.
The Republican bill would roll back the Affordable Care Act's protections for patients with pre-existing conditions. Health insurers would still have to cover them, but the bill includes a mechanism allowing insurance companies to raise rates on those patients.
Yes, they took a bad thing and managed to make it even worse. It's like watching Mariah Carey's Glitter and saying, you know what this needs? Jar Jar Binks. And look, Republicans are currently saying that no one can be denied coverage for pre-existing conditions under this bill. But the truth is, if you have one, and there is a gap in your coverage for any reason, you could be charged a lot more, potentially so much more that coverage becomes unaffordable. It's like if your daughter asks, "Can I have a cookie?" And you say, "Sure, that'll be $1.5 billion, Katie. You have not been denied this cookie. You still have full access to it should you choose to become successful enough to be able to afford it. Now get out of my sight." So this bill now heads to the US Senate, who are expected to write their own version, and while it may be slightly more moderate, that could really still amount to basically cutting a shit sandwich in half. And if any bill gets to President Trump's desk, we already know he will sign it. This guy would sign a live snake as long as it had Obamacare repeal written on it. So it is dangerous to assume that this bill will die on its own. Your senators are incredibly important right now, and they're going to recess soon. So you need to let them know how you feel about this. You only get one shot at this, one opportunity. And I know the perfect song to pump you up, but as New Zealand has shown me, we cannot legally play it. What we can play you is 8 Mile Thug, an actual Eminem-esque song that we found. The point here is, if I may, you've got to lose track of yourself in the tune. The minute, you know what, I'm not doing this, just call your senators. Call your senators. And now, this.